Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're all doing well. A little bit of a different video today. No music production or beats. Um, Today I'm doing a little bit of a hot take on a topic I came across online on um, on a social media channel, and it's about being an artist. And I was surprised to see a fellow artist. This is a well-known musician. I won't mention the person's name, but they were talking about how you can only and should only call yourself an artist if you've gone through some kind of a struggle or a big sacrifice, or that you have to be able to like pay your dues and be financially kind of successful to support your art. Then you can call yourself an artist, but until then you're just an entertainer, right? So let's dive a little bit deeper into this and pick this topic apart, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what an artist is. So what is an artist? So if you look up the definition, an artist is a person who creates art, such as paintings, drawings, sculpture, or that performs, like dance or music, acting, poetry. And what is art itself? So an artist is somebody who creates art, right? But what is art itself? So I thought about it, and my definition of what art is it's a transformation of your thoughts, your emotions, via a skill or imaginative or creative process that turns into a form of expression, such as song, music, poetry, dance, photography, right? It goes on and on. And so and these can be, categorized into different areas, such as performing arts. So you dance, you're using your body as an expression. Sorry about the noise. I'm outside in a little cafe and there's traffic. So there's performing arts, so you can dance and you're using your body to express emotion and feelings and thoughts. There's visual arts, so painting. There's literary arts, writing poetry, reading poetry, etc. So that's what art is, and an artist is somebody who does these things, right? So there is a perception, or in my view, a misconception in certain fields of art, especially music, that you cannot call yourself an artist unless you have, gone through or are going through some kind of struggle or suffering, some kind of struggling, suffering, or sacrifice. That if you're not willing to take substantial risk. So that was another thing this artist mentioned, is that if you're not risking things, if you're not out there risking your well-being or your financial situation or your comfort, then you can't call yourself an artist. You're just somebody who's supporting an artist, right? I disagree with that. And I feel that if someone is creating something, anything, that expresses their inner thoughts or feelings, they should be proud and comfortable calling themselves an artist, right? And this idea of being able to pay your financial dues through your art and only then you are an artist is misleading, I think. Maybe you can use a different, if you feel that way, maybe the terminology should be different. Like maybe you should say, well, I am a professional musician, meaning that that is your profession and that is how you're making a living. And yeah, then you could say that you can only say I'm a professional musician if you're supporting your life and your lifestyle through your music. Or you could say I'm a professional sculptor, which would mean you're supporting your lifestyle and your everyday living through your sculpture by selling it, right? And there's this idea of commerce. That's the professional aspect of art. But by no means should your art be tied to that commerce aspect, right? And so as long as you're creating something, regardless, you can live in a village somewhere in Europe where there's no music industry or any kind of art industry or whatever, and you're painting, right? You're an artist. You're looking at a landscape and you're translating that landscape through your vision and through your emotions and how that landscape is touching you. You're translating that onto a canvas or onto paper with words. So I think that, again, one should not, like the financial aspect and the struggle of being an artist, or that connotation of there being a struggle of being an artist, they're not dependent on each other, right? So they can coexist. Yeah, you can be an artist and you can be struggling to make a living through your art, but you could also be well off. You can be, rich, or you can be, have a normal income with a normal life and still be an artist, right? You don't have to be down and out to be an artist. Some people say that, you can only truly express yourself and your feelings if you're going through that kind of thing. Sure, that some people, they channel that inner emotion more, and they're able to express it more when they're going through things. But other people don't need that. Other people can express themselves, when they're living their day-to-day lives. And if that's your case, that's awesome. You're happy and you're expressing your happiness or your emotion or your sadness, and you're expressing it. It's not dependent on your financial situation, and your lifestyle and your financial situation and how you live your life does not define how much of an artist you are. And also, the kind of art you're doing is also shouldn't define, again, this person talked about, you can have a major artist on stage performing, and the people that are in the band supporting that artist are not artists, right? They're something else. That may be the case. They may be just professional working musicians, but maybe those people on stage that are with that artist are artists themselves. You know why? Because if they have to go on stage every night and perform the same thing every night, they add their own personal touch to the music they're playing. And yeah, it's very technical and you can repeat the same thing, but a lot of times, when you have a supporting musician playing on stage, they're giving their, what's the word that I'm looking for? Their interpretation, that's the word I'm looking for. They're giving their interpretation of the musical part that's been written for them, right? That's what jazz is all about too. You have jazz musicians, you have a main theme that you're playing around, but that jazz musician and musicians playing on stage together, they're all expressing themselves, right? And so they are artists because they are expressing the music, and they're interpreting it through how they're feeling at the moment, right? You can have also more technical people that are artists. So like a producer. So all of you beat makers out there, all of you music producers on the MPC, Akai MPC Music Production Center, right? Some people might argue, yeah, all you're doing is hitting buttons and hitting pads, and that's not music, that's not art. I disagree, right? I think you would disagree as well. You're producing. A producer needs to be able to take a concept, a musical concept, and turn it into something beautiful and magical, and something that's going to resonate with everybody, and it's going to touch people. The artist or performer, they have their role in that, but the producer also takes that and makes it into a finished product, and they're using their interpretation and their feelings and their vision to be able to take that piece of music or take that choreography of dance and turn it into a final product that we all can enjoy, right? So yeah, producers are artists too. Choreographers are artists as well, right? So anyways, I think I'm going on too long, but I think you guys get the concept, right? So for all of you artists out there, whether you're struggling, whether you're you're living a good life, as long as you're expressing yourself and you are sharing. That's another important aspect of artists, is that where a lot of times artists create and expose or exhibit what they're doing, whether it's dance, music, or art, or sculpture, for others to see or listen to or feel. And there's this sharing aspect to art as well, right? And so if you feel you want to share your art, if you want to share your creation, yeah, you're an artist, all right? You are an artist. Be proud. All right, that's it. Peace, y'all.